Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
When you get a chance to perform compensation or anything that we discussed earlier, if you are seeing any roadblocks, get that. You can see. Now, coming to the security. Workday security is an important concept and very useful concept for you. If you are aware of Workday security, you will be knowing the system architecture. Whatever you see in Workday, whatever you are viewing in Workday, whatever you are performing in Workday is completely based on the security that is defined in Workday for you. If you are seeing any other employee information, any other employee personal information, it's nothing but just because additional security is granted for you. But regular employees who are not part of Workday team, they'll have only limited access that they can view only their information. They cannot view another employee's personal information like gender, date of birth, contact information, compensation. All these are sensitive information, right? One employee cannot view other employees' sensitive information. Default security will be taking care of that. But Workday team members who will be supporting the entire application. They'll be supporting compensation, they'll be supporting performance, recruiting all the areas of Workday. They'll be having complete access in Workday who are working in Workday area. They'll be having complete access throughout the application. Wherever they see an issue, they'll jump and they'll fix those issues. That is the reason why Workday team will be having complete security for every module. There will be a super user security group called Workday Security Administrator who can manage the security in Workday. That person who is associated with Workday Security Administrator will have security access to manage any kind of security stuff in Workday. Before we know something about security, we need to know the policies that are there in Workday security. There are two policies in Workday. One is Business Process Security Policy. The other one is Domain Security Policy. These are the two policies that we have in Workday. And if you are aware of these two policies, you will be knowing the complete security. What is Business Process Security Policy? Business process. I think we have seen when we are creating business process, we used to go there and assign the security for business process policy. Business process security policy is nothing but which allows you to perform business process transaction. Create position, move worker and hire an employee, edit position, close position. All these are initiation tasks. When you have permissions to create position, then only you will be able to create positions. And that permission is where you will be giving. In business process security policy, business process security policy allows you to perform business process transactions. What are business process transactions? Initiate is nothing but create. Position is initiate. When your permissions are provided to initiate action in create position business process security policy, you will be able to create position. We go to the task. Let's take move workers as an example. Worker supervisor. I am going to this business process security policy. I will be talking through the business process transactions related to move workers business process. Initiation action. Whatever security groups that you are giving here, that person who is associated with the security group will be getting access to create move workers to perform the transaction called move workers. The moment you actually enter the task in the search bar move workers, you will be getting a task right. That is nothing but because of the security. Whatever security that you are giving here that allows you to initiate the task. When you are actually accessing the task from the search bar here, move workers. When you are actually searching from the search bar move workers, which is nothing, but you wanted to move workers from one organization to another organization, right? Where you are actually initiating this task to move an employee from one organization to other organization. You are able to get this task just because the security is added here. Whatever security that is granted to you, that group is added here. That is the reason why you are able to access this task. If you are not, if the security group attached to you is not placed in this initiation security group, you will be not getting this task here. Initiation security is nothing but which allows you to perform the task. And similarly approve. Whenever move workers is submitted, someone will be getting an approval notification, right? Whatever security that you are defining here, that security will be getting an approval. Based on the configuration that you will be making in business process step, any of the security group might get an approval. Let us say yesterday, when we are actually testing, we have given HR operations administrator, right? I think we agree. We have given manager HR administrator, HR operations administrator. When we were testing this, we have given HR operations administrator, which means that HR operations administrator have permissions to approve the business process transaction for move workers. When employee is moved from one organization to other organization, if you are adding HR operations administrator as an approver, which means that HR operations have permissions to approve move workers business process transaction from where employee is moving from one organization to other organization. This is one kind of business process transaction. And similarly, if you come down, you will be seeing multiple canceling the business process. Whatever security that you will be giving here, that will have permissions to cancel move workers, business process transaction, and similarly resign. Send back. Resign is nothing but sending back to the employee. When you have any business process transaction that are completed, you can actually send back again to an employee or someone who has initiated. You can send it back. The security group that are given here will be having those permissions to resign. And similarly, you will have reassigned tasks. You can reassign tasks from one person to another person. When the person is not available and that task needs to be reassigned from one person to another person, a security group who is attached here will be having those permissions to reassign tasks from one person to other person. Other than that, no one will be getting that access. Danny is nothing but reject when manager is getting some tasks for an approval. And manager feels that that is not as per the required should be resubmitted. Manager will deny that one. That will be going back to an employee. Whatever security groups that you will be giving here, that security groups, the people who are associated with those security groups will be getting access to deny the business process transaction. These are all the business process transactions that you will be seeing. When you are actually talking something about security and specifically about business process security policy, you need to understand that it talks about performing the business process transactions. Whatever security that you are giving in business process security policy will be performing the business process transactions. What are the business process transactions? Initiate, approval, resign, cancel, reassign, or the business process transactions. People who are associated with business process security policy will be able to perform business process transactions. They can create a position, they can approve the position, they can resign the position, they can cancel the position business process. They can reassign the create position business process that is sitting with one person to another person. What is the business process which allows you to perform a business process? Which will give permissions to perform the business process transactions. What are the business process transactions? Initiate, approval, cancel, resign. In any business process that we have in Workday, these are the business process transactions that we typically use. Business process security policy will be giving permissions to all the business process transactions related to any BP. You just need to go to that particular BP, edit the business process security policy, add the security that will let you to perform the business process transaction. And domain security policy. Domain security policy is nothing but which will give you permission to see or to modify something in Workday. To see or modify something in Workday. If you are not able to see the personal information of an employee, or if you are not able to see the mobile number of an employee, if you are not able to see age of an employee, date of birth of an employee, which means that you do not have domain security policy permissions to view that personal information. If you are not able to see compensation grade of an employee, which means that you do not have compensation grade domain permissions to view that information. Domain security policy will give permissions to view and modify something in Workday. If you wanted to edit your contact information, to update your contact information, which means that you have contact information domain assigned to you and given modify permission. That is the reason why you are able to edit and update your contact information. If you wanted to edit your date of birth, you need to have that specific domain attached to modify area. Then only you will be able to edit your date of birth. Date of birth is nothing but personal information, right? That personal information domain must be attached to your security group with modify access. Then only you will be able to edit and modify your security group. Domain security policy allows you to view or modify anything in Workday. That is about domain security policy. if you are aware of both business process security policy and domain security policy, you will be understanding the complete security of Workday. What we will be doing here, if one of the business users comes to you and asks, hey, I'm not able to view benefits of an employee. What does that mean? What policy that comes under? Domain security policy. That comes under domain security policy. Probably that person who is associated with any security group does not have benefit domains attached to that security group. That is the reason why that person is not able to view the benefits of the employee. What you will be doing? You will be attaching benefit related domains to that security group that will give permissions to view benefits of an employee. If manager is coming to Workday team and ask, hey, I'm not able to view my team member performance reviews, or I'm not able to approve my team members performance related tasks that is sitting in my inbox. What policy that comes under? Business process review. Because manager has to approve the performance review task, which means that that is a business process transaction. Once manager approves, employee will be able to view the performance rating. Manager, employee will be submitting performance review to the manager, and manager has to review, evaluate and approve that one. And then manager will be seeing manager evaluation, manager rating, which is nothing but business process right. If manager is not able to approve that one, what could be the issue? There is a business process security policy. You need to go to performance related BP, edit that BP, go to approval task, add manager security group there. Business process security policy and domain security policy are a kind of pillars of the security. If you are aware what needs to be done, when things come, you should be knowing difference between these two policies. The first question that someone will ask you when someone is interviewing, when you say that you are well aware of Workday security, the first thing they will ask you, what are the policies that are available in Workday? What are the security policies that are available in Workday? Right. These are the two policies that you should be aware when you know something, when you are talking something on the security. As I said, right, the first question in the interview that will be asked. When you say that, when your resume says that you are aware of the security, the first question that comes is, what are the two policies that we have in Workday or anything related to policy? How does business process security policy works? How does domain security policy works? The first question will be related to the policy. You should be aware of these two policies in Workday, which will give complete understanding on Workday security. And the other thing that we have is constrained and unconstrained and constrained. We have a lot of security groups. Probably we will be creating a few security groups in Workday that you will be aware how security group can be attached to the permissions and all. But before you know something about security, you need to know constrained versus unconstrained. Unconstrained. Unconstrained security group. We will talk about giving unrestricted access to the security group. When you are creating unconstrained security group, which means that there are no restrictions to the security group, which will give full access across the workday. Tenant, which will give access to all the employees in workday. When you are creating unconstrained security group, which will have full access to access all the employee information. But if you are creating constrained security group will have restrictions. You will be able to restrict constrained security group to certain organization. Let's say manager is there. What manager responsibility is to manage the team members. To manage the team members, what manager should be performing? Should be approving their goal, should be approving their team members' PTO leave request, and anything related to employee who submits that manager will be taking care of those. Manager will be restricted to their team members only. Right? Manager will not approve other team members' information. Right? That manager will be taking care. But it's your case. Your manager is there. When you submit your PTO request, your manager has to approve. Or if manager wanted to view entire team members of whom he is actually managing, he can view all the team members' information. But manager should not have access to other managers, team members. Manager should not have access to view other employees. Information other managers, team members. Information managers should not. If you have access to the manager, the security group is created with constrained access. That manager can be restricted to the supervisor organization that he is allocated to, he or she allocated to. Constrained security group will be restricting access to certain organizations. Is there? India HR should have access to view only India HR information, India employee information. Should not have access to view Australia employees or US employees or Canada employees. Should be restricted to completely India team members. You will be creating constrained security group for that kind of request, and we will be restricting access to organization level. But the same scenario, if you take unconstrained, you will be not restricting anything. You will be giving access to view all the employee information. That is the difference that you need to know. These are the 3 terms or 4 terms I can say which you need to know. Mandatorily, if you are talking something on security. Someone can ask, what is the difference between constrained versus unconstrained? When you are creating the security groups, what is the difference between constrained security group and unconstrained security? What you should say. Unconstrained security group will give full access, complete access. Unconstrained security group will be restricting the security and organization level. Unconstrained security group will not be restricting. It will be giving access to complete the organization. Any employee information can be viewed with unconstrained. But constrained security group will be restricted based on the organization. Organization can be company cost center hierarchy, or company hierarchy, supervisory organization, anything can be. You can restrict security based on this. If you are aware of these complete features or understanding, if you get complete understanding on all these what I have discussed related security, you should be able to define complete security in Workday. Probably you don't know the security groups. We will talk about security groups in tomorrow's session. But at least understanding when I create certain security group, and how the security group is functioning. If you need to understand that, you should be aware of these terms, actually not just terms, the features of these terms, the features of these terms, and the features of these terms. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.